Welcome to I Said What I Said. I'm Brad Wakai. That's Tyson Gentry. Huge news coming from the NFL, man. And we always kind of joke, the NFL never sleeps. And Tyson, it's the NFL's about to start, so it's not like, whoa, but on the eve, basically, of college football getting underway, Micah Parsons gets traded by the Dallas Cowboys to the Green Bay Packers, two premier franchises in the history of football. And it's just, that's all anybody's talking about. It's just so classic.
Dude, I mean, this is the biggest thing of the summer. Any sport, probably.
It rivals the Luka thing, right? Like just a shocking type of like, whoa, this came out. I guess not out of nowhere because Luka was, but man.
Imagine you have, you're born in Dallas. That's all you did wrong. You just were born and there was a NBA team in your city and an NFL team in your city, and you got punched in the gut twice in 6 months.
So what we're going to do is we're going to discuss this trade, talk about it from the Cowboys' point of view, talk about it from the Packers' point of view, and get out of here because this is a huge thing that we wanted to discuss. We got a ton of content coming out for you later. Let us know what you think in the comments about this trade in general. Like, did the Cowboys make a mistake? Did the Packers hugely upgrade? We'll give our thoughts. We want to hear what you have to say in the comments. But Tyson, let's lay the foundation for what we're talking about here. So Micah Parsons, I'll go through a timeline before we jump into the Cowboys thing because I think that kind of highlights what you're going to discuss. But Micah Parsons was traded for 2 first-round picks and Kenny Clark. So the 2 first-round picks are going to come next year in 2026 and 2027. You'll have, talk about some of the Jamal Adams things here, but when I first saw that, I was like, wait, what? That's all it went for Micah Parsons?
Well, that was because at first it was 2 firsts, and then it was 2 firsts and a frontline player, but we didn't know what that meant necessarily or who, because Green Bay has been invested. Dude, we'll get to that, whatever. And then it came out 2 firsts and Kenny Clark. Makes a lot more sense, but Kenny Clark wants to get paid too, and now you're gonna find yourself in this situation. A guy approaching 30. This dude has been awesome since he's been in the league, but hurt last year. And look, he comes with 2 first-round picks, so that's great. But these picks are going to be in the 20s. And
yeah, because we got
to hit.
Right, and we expect the Packers to be good. Like, that's the other thing here. It's not like you're getting it from the Saints, right?
Yeah, you send them the Panthers or whatever, yeah.
So that's what we got to think about here. They're 2 first-round picks, probably mid-round first-round picks. And then, Tyson, here's the second piece of it. Like, the whole reason why Micah Parsons and the Cowboys, this thing was stalling and there was some friction is because Parsons wanted to get paid. Well, he immediately signs an extension with the Packers, agrees to a 4-year, $188 million contract, $120 million fully guaranteed, $136 million in total guarantees. So he's the highest non-paid quarterback in NFL history.
A lot of money. But I'm old enough to remember when Myles Garrett was, or TJ Watt or whatever else. It's just gonna a year from now it's gonna be Jalen Carter, and this will look a little better. But if you're Green Bay, dude, they have been swinging and missing at this edge spot through the draft themselves for quite a while. And so now it's like, okay, Micah's here, Gary's here, we'll figure out the rest, and we don't have to keep investing. We don't have to wait on Lucas Van Ness, basically, like some of these other guys that they've tried to go get. So I totally get it. Yeah, it's a lot of money, but it's what you kind of got it. They want to win a Super Bowl, man.
Yeah, no, I mean, and we're talking about a guy in Micah Parsons, and this is put out by Adam Schefter. He's one of 29 players who's been selected in the first round in the common draft era, who was selected to the Pro Bowl in each of his first 4 seasons. Yeah. Now he's the only one who will play for a different team in his 5th season. Micah Parsons has been in the fabric of the NFL for so long because he immediately stepped in and was in Defensive Player of the Year conversations as a rookie. Mm-hmm. Won Defensive Rookie of the Year. Has been in the running for Defensive Player. Tyson, it's easy to forget that this guy's been in the league for 4 years. That's it.
What position did he play in college?
Linebacker.
Yeah. I mean, he came in here, he's rushing the passer like an all-pro, and everyone knew he had pass rush moves to come in, but that was part of it. It was this dude is going to, Micah Parsons is going to play next to Leighton Vander Esch. It's going to be great. And then all of a sudden he put his hand in the dirt, and it was like, oh, we have one of the 6 best players in the NFL.
Yeah, and so that's the type of person we're talking about here. So those are the details for Micah Parsons in the trade. Let's dive in from the lens of the Cowboys here. And the first thing is, online people have their whatever you want to talk about. They're taking pot shots at the Cowboys, or the Cowboys are right. Micah Parsons is a cancer. He doesn't care, blah, blah, blah. Where are you at? Did the Cowboys make a mistake trading somebody like Micah Parsons?
So, yes. I mean, the short answer is yes. And that would be if the Philadelphia Eagles traded Jalen Carter tomorrow or whatever else. It's not specific to Dallas or making fun of Jerry in that case. You can't it's just really hard to move on from a guy like that who is like Micah Parsons is about to hit his prime. But that's the other part is he's probably not even there athletically yet. This like where my mind went immediately was like, wow, Jerry Jones was embarrassed. The whole thing went public, and he wanted to meet with Micah Parsons in a closet and not negotiate through an agent. And he got his feelings hurt. But maybe, they could have learned a lesson from the Dak Prescott saga where they didn't pay him early and then had to make him the highest paid guy. Or they could have learned from the CeeDee Lamb saga where they didn't pay him early and then they had to go out and make him the highest paid guy. And then they backed themselves into another corner for no reason. There wasn't a reason that they didn't pay him last year. Because if they weren't optimistic that a deal would have got done, it wouldn't have happened a week before this season started. Like if they were really approaching that from we don't need Micah Parsons on our team. And then, Brad, my mind went to Kenny Clark is a good player. And now there's pressure on Kenny Clark to be, a dominant force in the middle. But if Dallas wasn't swinging and missing on Mazi Smith and some of these other guys that they've invested in the interior on that defensive line, like maybe there's not a hole there. This whole thing is like, did they make a mistake with this? Yes, but it was a culmination of 15 other ones that got here.
And that's, I think, where a lot of people are pointing to Dallas and kind of making fun or laughing because, everybody hates the Cowboys, right? If you're not a Cowboys fan, it's easy and it's low-hanging fruit, especially at this stage of the franchise where, like, it's almost like a joke how long it's been since they've had, like, actual real success. And that's where we're at with the Cowboys. It's compounding mistakes. It's a family-run business, right, if we just want to look at it from this point. And it looks like it's a family-run business that are not – up to the date, right? Like you're still running you don't have QuickBooks. You're running everything on, not even Excel, but writing things down. Yeah. It's just they're not up to the par with kind of the modern era of football. That's what it feels like, right? Like they also have drafted well. So I think the point where, the Cowboys, always do this or they suck or this, that's not necessary reality. But when it comes to paying players early and doing things like we see the smart organizations do, they've repeatedly come up short on that. And Tyson, to go to your point about the Jerry Jones thing, and maybe he got his feelings hurt, because I think a lot of people are saying, wow, something's going to get done, because that's what we've seen in the past with the Cowboys.
Every team.
Yet here's the timeline for Parsons. July 21st, reported to camp. August 1st, he was like, I want to be traded. Day later, Jerry Jones said he's not going to trade Parsons, saying it's just part of the negotiation, and he told fans, quote, don't lose any sleep over it, end quote. 5 days later, on August 7th, Parsons says he has back tightness, wasn't on the field. August 13th, Jones says nothing is preventing Parsons' contract talks. They just still haven't even discussed a new deal. Tyson, August 21st, Jones says to Parsons, Jerry Jones says they offered Parsons the richest contract for a non-QB. Brian Schottenheimer a day later says he expects Parsons to play in week 1. Then today, as we're recording this August 28th, they freaking trade the face of their defense a week before the opener against your division rivals and the Philadelphia Eagles, coming off a Super Bowl. And now he's the only guy who's really had success on that side of the football. And now you got to go and face the Eagles. It's just laughable.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. And Micah Parsons is 26, dude. I can't get over that part. When Myles Garrett was saying earlier this offseason, hey, I want to be traded. I don't want to be here anymore. It was like, how many firsts does it take to get Myles Garrett? And everyone's like, probably 3. Probably, he's 29.
Yeah.
Micah Parsons is 26. Like this whole thing it was avoidable. And I think that's probably what stings the most if you're a Cowboys fan. And maybe, dude, they hit on they take 2 studs with these 2 picks and this age as well. But just because if the result ends up okay for Dallas, that doesn't mean that the process was good. And I think that's where people are kind of like, I can't believe we're doing this again. And I can't believe they traded. Dude, I thought this whole time, like, today would have been the day they got a contract done, or they're going to do it 24 hours before kick or whatever. Because that's what they did with CeeDee, and that's what they did with Dak. And like we've seen them do this. That's what the Browns did with Micah. The Bengals just gave Trey Hendrickson a raise in a similar situation, and that's the Bengals. Like Mike Brown is out here paying the guys that want to be paid. This doesn't look good for Jerry, and to be honest with you, it doesn't look good for Steven, because all we're hearing is, well, Stephen Jones is doing this, and look at how good they've been at scouting and hitting on these draft picks. But maybe he's got a little bit of say-so in those rooms too, and whoever made this decision should be in trouble.
Yeah, well, it's crazy. And I know a lot of people are like, well, Parsons, I don't know if he's worth the headache here. Let me just say this, guys. If you can have Reggie White on your team, because that's what he is. He has joined Reggie White as the only players in NFL history to have at least 12 sacks in each of their first 4 seasons. Reggie White, who people say, besides Lawrence Taylor, is the greatest pass rusher of all time. And if you even want to talk to some of the older heads, they'll say Reggie White's the best. Yeah. So we're talking about a guy who's like a top 2 of all time pass rusher trajectory through his first 4 seasons. Well, he goes on his podcast and he's a little gruff in the locker room. I'm sorry, this is football. This is a defensive end. Like, if your quarterback's doing that, I understand. But if your job's to go get the quarterback, I don't care how you act.
And maybe he'd be nicer if he got paid.
So the Cowboys, yes, they made a mistake. I don't care what anybody says. This is insane to trade away that type of talent.
Yeah.
And you mentioned it. Okay, let's say they hit on 2 picks. You're going to tell me that those 2 players are going to become freaking Reggie White? Because that's what you traded away. That's what we're talking about here.
And like the Schottenheimer thing is just swept under the rug here. But like we said, when he got hired, it feels a little bit like, dead man walking, going into this building. And then he's grown on me over the offseason. I'm like, maybe Schotty's going to figure it out a little bit. And Dallas can not threaten for the playoffs this year, but like show signs of life. And he's there for a little while. And then you just get rid of like the only ace in the hole he has on that side of the ball. Because now like Trayvon Diggs is just going to get eaten alive. Like there is nothing to jump when there is no pressure on the quarterback.
Yeah, that is tough. Anything else in the Cowboys before we move into the Packers?
Just that it's hilarious, and I'm really glad it happened.
From the Packers standpoint, this is a home run. You mentioned it off the top. They have missed on edge rushers. They're looking for a pass rusher. Jeff Hafley took the defense to the next level. We've been waiting for that, and now you give him the premier pass rusher in this league at the age of 26, in his prime, locked up for 4 more years beyond this season. For 2 first-round picks again. What do you say? Like, if you're going to get Myles Garrett, you need 3, maybe 4. Like, oh man, the fact that they were able to do this, if you're the Packers, is huge, especially in a division with a quarterback in J.J. McCarthy you're not sure can play. Same with Caleb Williams and an offensive line that hasn't been good, and a quarterback in Jared Goff who we've seen, if he gets pressured, he's not the same guy. Like, you just got a huge weapon that you added to your defense. It's going to help you compete in this division for years to come. For like capital, that's 2 first-round picks who, like we just talked about it, probably in the 20s. Like that's where you think you're at as a franchise. This is insane.
Yeah, and I'm like looking through here because Van Ness was 2023 and Devontae Wyatt was 2022. Back-to-back edge rushers that they went with. And then Jordan Morgan at tackle the next year was a good pick, and it remains to be seen on Matthew Golden this year and how that's going to work out. But like Quay Walker's fine at 22 and Eric Stokes at 29. Like those aren't, and Jordan Love obviously has worked out, but hey, we're about batting 500 here at the end of the first round. Should we just go get a Hall of Famer? Like it's a no-brainer. Kenny Clark is a really good player, and it stinks to lose that guy out of the middle because they're going to be hurting there a little bit. But you pair up Micah Parsons and Rashawn Gary and just say, go get to the quarterback. That's a scary place to be if this offense looks like it did 2 years ago. If they're scoring points and you got to throw the ball against Green Bay, you're in big trouble.
It's big trouble. I think that's what, if you're looking at here, that's what you're banking on. And like you mentioned, Devontae Wyatt, the defensive tackle, Carlos Brooks, defensive tackle, 𝐿𝐿 Stackhouse is in the 2 deep, same with Colby Wooden. So, yeah, I mean, you wish you had Kenny Clark. Like you said, like he's a good player. I don't think he's a game wrecker by any chance. And if you can give him up to get Micah Parsons, you do it in a heartbeat. So, yeah, it could be a little soft on the interior. Is that something you do later rounds, going forward to bolster that and see if you can hit on somebody? Yeah, probably. But we're talking about what you can do right now to win a Super Bowl. And Micah Parsons with him on this roster gives you a better chance than if he wasn't.
I mean, no doubt about it. You go beyond football and it's like, hey, do you guys just want to sell 100 million jerseys this year? Like they made so much money. It's like, yeah, they invested a ton. Dude, the stock is through the roof. Like all these part owners of Green Bay they should feel good about themselves today. But this is a move that signifies to me, like we talked about the NFC North last week, and it was like Green Bay just doesn't feel like they're in that same tier of teams trying to win a Super Bowl in the NFC as everyone else. And if this is a move from a front office that's saying, hey, maybe we agree with that a little bit and we want to be there, so let's just go ahead and get the guy.
Yeah, exactly. So The NFC North that Tyson just alluded to, we did the preview. So it's maybe a tiny bit outdated, but we give some thoughts on the offense, and nothing changed there. But I'm with you. I think there's a big change in the perception of the Packers in that division. So go check that out. We have the NFC East, AFC East coming up too. So we'll talk a little bit more on the Cowboys overall. So if you're wondering how that changes the outlook with this trade, we'll talk about that. But Tyson, anything else for the Packers standpoint before we get out of here that you want to mention?
I just think a little bit ironic for the team that was so anti-tush push to abandon the middle of their defense. I think it's going to be tough sledding there, but dude, they're going to be. How can you not be pumped? Like there is no down. I don't want to hear any Packers fans upset about losing 2 first-round picks to get a guy like Micah Parsons.
Yeah, especially when you extend them, right? It's not even like you're in contract negotiations.
Until he's 30.
Well, right. That's the thing here. So that's it for the Micah Parsons stuff. We want to do a quick reaction on that because it is a huge seismic move. Like, subscribe, and share the show. We got a ton more content for you guys. We're right in the thick of football season. We got picks for college football week 1. After the weekend, we will be recapping a massive kickoff to the college football season, plus getting into the actual NFL season. But first, we got our 2 previews, like I mentioned off the top, NFC, AFC East to close us out there. We are hot and heavy. We're moving in the fall. We're here with you the entire time. So share it with a friend, share it with somebody you don't know, share it with an enemy. I don't know. Just help us out. We do appreciate all the support, and we will talk to you guys when we talk to you. Till then, peace.